Okay, a very good evening. Where I am right now, and my guest, I'm sure I understand where she is. It's afternoon, so I will say
Yes.
I will just welcome you without saying good evening because there it will be the opposite. So I welcome you. I'm honored to have someone of your capacity, first time ever to have a CEO on my show. And to those who are viewing us, we have got our own here. She's a mother, a founder of two companies. She's a CEO. She is multitasking. Her name is Mabel. You are going to forgive me the other middle name there. I might have forgotten it, but it's Mabel Butler. So I'm sure to start with, you can tell us who Mabel Butler is before we can go straight to the business of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Stuart, for having me. I'm quite honored to be on your platform. And hello to everyone who's watching and everybody who's going to watch later. My name is Mabel Machavunga, and that is from Mutoko, Butler. And I am a 40-year-old woman, mother of two girls, and a wife to an amazing husband. I have been here in the States for 20 years now and owned my business, the first one for 10 years, and the second one has been 5 years. And I'm quite grateful for everything that God has given me. I have been an esthetician or skin therapist for 20 years now, so pretty much half of my life.
Which is amazing. There was a time I was checking
Yeah.
on your profile, and I
Hmm.
realized that, like you have mentioned, you said you are esthetician.
Yes.
Challenge to call that profession, but tell me something. Um, a lot of people might not be understanding the field of your work.
Right.
Uh, as there was the build up of this show, I had
Hmm.
to do my homework myself. I had to check a lot in regard to esthetician, what you will be basing, what you'll be dealing with. But a
Hmm.
lot of people they don't know. Maybe if you can define and explain the duties of your field so that everyone from now going forward we can understand.
Okay. An esthetician is a skin therapist in short, or a beauty therapist. So that's the name they called here in the US. But if you're in Zimbabwe or in Europe, they call them beauty therapist. So that's the kind of job I do. And what do? We work in the spa doing skin services, facials, massages, body treatments. Sometimes in different countries, they also do nails. So it's a kind of job that has to do with the beauty industry. So that's the esthetician.
And as an African child, you are in America as we speak right now from Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to then embark on this journey,
Mm-hmm.
the field you are right now? What was the
Wow.
motivating factor? What drove you? What inspired you?
Wow, that is it's going to be a long answer. I
One,
hope you're ready for this.
we give you all the time. We give you all the time.
So I grew up in Glenview One. That's where I grew up, and beauty, I didn't know anything about the beauty industry. I'm sure for most of you watching, you understand in the high density suburbs, some of these things you are not aware. It's known with about 10% of the people living in areas that are like Borodale, those areas up there. But I finished my A level at Morgan High School and I wanted to go to social work, but I couldn't get in. I just was short of 1 point to get to the University of Zimbabwe to do social work. So here I am. I was raised by a widow. My mom was widowed by 39 years old, and she had 5 children to take care of with no formal job. So she used to go to South Africa buying and selling. She started selling with clothes, and then she ended up selling like car parts. She got a contract with a a company in Harare that she will go buy them car parts and bring them to them, and they will give her the money. So that knowing that my mom had struggled and was still struggling to send the five of us to school, I'm one of the fourth, I'm number four in my family. I didn't have the luxury of looking into, okay, can I just sit at home and not do anything? I had to make a plan real quick. And my oldest brother, who was working in Amtech already, he was into fixing cars at Amtech Motors. He found out about Cindy's beauty therapy school, and he said, hey, there was somebody who was talking about this school. It was in Highlands. Let's go check it out. They do beauty. And my mom and myself have never heard of anything like that. I knew about cosmetology, doing hair, but we didn't know about skin. So we called in, we found an interview time to go in, and we went in, and I was just amazed. There were just, I think about 10 of the people in there were white and about two black girls. So here I am coming from the high density. Don't know, do I fit in? It was just confusing for me. So we did the interview, and one thing that resonated with me was, because I didn't know what it was the person said, this is about skincare. And I suffered from acne my entire life. When I was a teenager, I had black spots, I had acne, breakouts all over my face. And that was like, to me, I would like to know about how to take care of my skin. If this is the work that I'm going to do, that's going to help me to build my confidence and understand how to really take care of my skin. I think I love that. And the icing on top was when she mentioned that we do international certification coming from UK and Switzerland. And you can also get a job if you're one of the selected ones to work on cruise ship. That sealed the deal for me. So as a person coming from Glenview, I said, this will be my way out. I'm going to love this. This is going to help me take care of my skin. I'm going to take care of my mom. Hopefully I'll be able to be the one of the girls to go work on cruise ships. So that's how I got to know about this industry. And the rest is history. I got the position and ended up working on the cruise ship. And we are where we are today because of that.
That's great history, and it's awesome. You're such a hardworking and strong woman. You see, your history, I was checking and I was reading about it. But tell me something. Mm-hmm. When you were about to then start your business, you've got two businesses.
Yes.
And did you face any challenges? Were you having some savings? I mean, how did you manage? How did you manage this impossible thing, difficult in America?
Yes, as a foreigner, it's really difficult to start a business and without knowing. When I moved here, the first thing I had to do is to understand the culture and to understand the service, the people that I was going to service. I had to know what kind of people are they, what kind of service are they into, what do they want. You have to make a connection first. I had to make that connection with the people in the US, especially people who visit the spa. So when I moved here, I didn't know, after the cruise ship, I didn't know, I didn't go ahead and start a spa right away. I worked in different spas. And that helped me to understand the community, to understand the people of America that I was going to service. And I did that for quite some time. And after that, I moved. My husband was in school studying his doctorate. So we moved to South Carolina, where we are now. And, things sometimes happen for a reason. I couldn't find a job with all the experience that I had. And I was so sure that I would send a resume or a CV and someone will hire me on spot. But the response that I was getting from anybody that I was sending my resume to was, you are too qualified. You have got so much experience. You're not going to stay. You live too far away. And in a way, it was a blessing, because when God wants to bless you sometimes, he closes all the doors that you are comfortable in, or he makes the comfortable place that you are in very, very uncomfortable so that you can step outside the box. And here I am with a husband who's working and 2 children. And I'm thinking, so am I going to be just a stay-at-home mom? So I converted one of my rooms. We had 3 bedrooms in the house that we were living at that time. I converted one of the bedrooms into a spa room. I bought a table. There was no money that I borrowed from anybody. We actually just decided, my husband and I just decided not to pay one bill a month to be able to buy the stuff that was needed for me to have this home care spa. So I started one person at a time. I would take my children to play in a place like Nando's in Zimbabwe, have the children play, have fun, tire them out, come back home and pray to God that these babies will sleep throughout the time that I had booked appointments. And they sure will. They did sleep the entire time. And by the time I was done, my husband would come home and I'll say, look, I made $200. I made $300 while I was at home. So it started building up from there, from one client to another client to another client, until I saw that I'd outgrown my home. I couldn't continue to just have a lot of people coming to my house. And I looked for one room to rent, from one room to rent to a bigger place and hiring other people to work. And the spa has been open for 10 years now. We don't really market anymore. It's a word of mouth. People just talk about our spa and they come. And from there, sugaring was started from there. So I would say, you know, when you start something, you don't see exactly where you're going. But when you start taking that one step and another step, you start seeing where you're going clear a little bit at a time. So that's how my journey has been up to now.
There's something which I've learned whilst you were explaining, and you talked of at times in life when almost all doors are closed. I'm sure God somehow He might be having something better for you. I followed a lot of your interviews, and there's one of this interview whereby this host, the interviewer, she was very happy. She regarded you as a successful businesswoman, hardworking. She had all the praises which she was explaining there. How do you feel away from home? You are being acknowledged, and then they are almost, I mean, idolizing you there in America. What's the feeling?
I'm humbled. That's the feeling. I'm humbled because I could be in Glenview 1 right now if it wasn't the grace of God. So when I hear that, I turn it around and give it back. I give it back in service. So I do mentor other estheticians that are here in the US, in Zimbabwe. People will message me all the time. How did you get to where you are? I'm looking for school in South Africa. I take time to listen to people. So I give back because I'm very humbled with where God has taken me this far. So I don't look at it and say, this was me. I'm very smart. It's just God just chose me, and He chose me for a reason to give back. So it's not just for me. I don't keep it to me. I share with people. I encourage. I talk to women. I have a skincare group that I just talk about skincare, things that people can do, from using Mealy Meal scrubs in their kitchen. It's not about selling products, but any advice that I can. So I'm of service, and I find joy when I am giving back to the industry and to other women. I'm more about the women. I'm sorry, I'm talking to a gentleman today, but I'm more about the women. Maybe because I was raised by a widow and saw what my mom did by herself. So I see so much potential in us women. That's why.
You have forced me to ask you a question which I should have been asking you at the last, but I'll ask it now before I forget. You are so, I mean, you have got a heart towards I mean, women and girls. What is your, I mean, motivational advice to the youth which we are having right now, Those who might want, they've got the ambition, they
Mm-hmm.
have the dream just to follow. They might not be where you are today, but to be great.
Mm-hmm.
What are your words of advice to the youth who might then watch this interview?
First thing I can say is find out who you are. You have to sit down with yourself and find out exactly what do you want in life. Not what your mom, not what your dad, not what your friends, but you are put on this earth as a unique person, as a different person, with a gift that you should share with the world. And that gift is your purpose of living in this world. So I would say to that young girl, you got to sit yourself down and talk to yourself and say, what do I love to do? What can I give to the world with my gift? It can be sports. It can be uh, being a cosmetologist. It can be an esthetician. It can be whatever that it is that you're very good at. You got to find out what is it. Everybody has something that they're very good at. And when you do that, you're going to flourish. You follow your dream. But the first thing, you got to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody, absolutely nobody can believe in what you do if you don't believe in yourself. So my advice is really believe in yourself, sit yourself down, talk to yourself, find out what ticks you, what exactly is the thing that you love to do, and follow your dreams that way. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really difficult, but consistency and persistence. And when you do what you love to do, it will start unfolding itself and you start seeing clear where you're going. And it's not going to happen one day. So be consistent and be just make sure you are okay. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Take your time. It will happen. Stay on it and keep fighting for those goals. You got to have that vision and continue to fight for your goal.
That's awesome and great. They will be inspired, and you see now the world of technology. This
Mm-hmm.
show will be saved and it will be in the archives, and anytime they will follow it and then they will benefit from your words of advice. You sound like a Christian, and I mean, you also deserve to be a pastor, if I might stretch you a bit. And
That is so nice of you.
yeah. I mean, your words are so powerful, and I'm sure they will inspire many. I wanted to check something.
Mhm,
You are a multitasker.
mhm,
How are you managing? You have got about three things at one time.
mhm,
You are a boss, the founder, the CEO as the first thing, as the first
mhm,
task.
mhm,
You are a mother to your kids.
mhm,
You are also a wife to your
mhm,
husband.
mhm.
Three big roles. How are you managing? How are you managing them?
First of all, I'll say you got to have a very good support system. And the first person that is my biggest support system is my husband. He's very hands on with the children, he's very hands on in the house. Because where we are, we don't have families. We don't have grandma. My mother in law lives in another state, so we don't have other people to help us. And I have amazing friends. I have my family also that keeps me sane. So mental health is very important when you're running around. My brothers, my sisters, and my dearest friend in Canada, they keep me sane. So when they kind of fill my cup, when my cup is full, I can now share with everybody my cup. So the thing about being a mom and be able to handle and do all of this, I prioritize. I'm such a planner that I get up early in the morning. I go to bed early, but I'm a very early riser. Around 4:35, I am up and I start doing my emails and work on my day before the day really begins. So that really helps me to stay focused and get to do what I need to do. But it's not easy. It's very important to be very organized and have a great support system because it takes a lot to be able to do what I do. But I'm able because I have a great support system, the ones that are here in the house and the ones that are not even here with me, but just the words of encouragement and making me feel like I have someone. If I'm tired, talk to someone, to a friend, to my sibling, they just go, you got it, you got it, you can do it. And it just makes me feel like, I can do it. So that's important. Surround yourself with people that fill your cup, not just take from your cup, because you cannot run onto empty. You have to have somebody filling that cup so you can be able to pour out from that full cup. That's how I managed to do it.
That's great. There's something which I might have asked it maybe during the beginning of this interview, but I'm sure I mistakenly skipped it somewhere. Your profession,
Mhm,
your parents, elders, your relatives, or those people who are
mhm,
close to you, being an esthetician,
mhm,
it's something maybe back home might not have been regarded as business as it deserves.
mhm,
So my question to you is, uh, when you were almost starting your business
mhm.
in this field, being an esthetician, uh, did you face any challenges, maybe from your close associates who were not understanding this profession, or it was just smooth?
I remember very clearly one day, my mother was coming from church, and I grew up a United Methodist church, the one with blue and red color uniform. So
Yes.
she was coming from church, and she was with other women that she was working with, and she was asked, women will always ask, "How are the children? What are they doing?" And she was asked what I was doing, and she said, "Oh, Mabel is going to beauty therapy school." And she was very happy to say that. She was very proud to say that. And then the women she said to her back, "Oh my gosh, why would you let your child do that?" She owned a hair salon in the neighborhood. And she said, "Well, when your daughter is finished, um, tell her to come and look for a job. I will give her a job at my salon." So here, my mom was paying so much money. The school was expensive, and with hopes that I was going to work on cruise ships and leave the country. And now she's being told by someone who had a local salon that I was going to be working in that salon. So she came home. She said, "Really? Is it what you're going to do after you graduate? With all this money, you're going to work for my Ningi?" I said, "No, mom, this is different. This is beauty therapy." So to say this is, it was not regarded as a high paying job. No parent would want their child to go to beauty therapy school. People would like their children to be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, other professions other than going to beauty therapy school. So I'm so grateful that my mother, she was very supportive. Even if I told her that, she said, "Okay, we'll see where this takes you." But she wasn't really convinced until I finished. And when I finished, and I said, "Look, Mama, I got in. I'm going to the cruise. I'm leaving to go to Miami." So it's to say this, I'll say, parents, you got to let your children follow their dreams, because if you pick a profession that you as a parent want, that you as a parent wanted to do, now you want to live your dream through your children, that is not going to go well, because they're not going to flourish until they do what they are called to do on this world, in this world, or on this earth. They will excel. So let them find themselves. Let them do what they called for. It might not look like it's going to pay bills, but one thing I've noticed, when you put your 100% in anything that you do, whether selling tomatoes, whether working in the bank, when you put 100%, you are going to succeed. I've seen people that are vendors, they do amazing because that's what they are called to do. And then some people would do it because they're just following, but they don't succeed because they're following. So I think if you do what you're called for, you excel no matter what it is.
So you have got two companies. You explained maybe somehow people might have missed. One of the companies was founded in 2010, which is Spa. You explain a bit there. We're almost finishing now. And the other one has got something to do with skincare. I'm sure around 2015 there. If I'm not mistaken, can you just clarify there?
Yes. The first thing that was opened was the spa, the day spa. The spa is really where we do the services, facials, massages, body hair removal using the sugar that we make. And then we don't do nails. We do everything else except nails. So that spa is in Columbia, South Carolina, was formed or started 2010. It's called Body Sugaring and Wellness Spa. Then 2015, we opened the Tapira Sugaring, which is the brand. Tapira has a skincare line and the sugaring. And sugar is pretty much like wax. For those women who done waxing on their eyebrows, it's like wax, but with better ingredients. It's made of lemon water and sugar. So people are more conscious of what they put on their body now when it comes to ingredients wise. So we use the sugar, and that is what we manufacture here in South Carolina. So we are a manufacturing company. It's Tapira Sugaring. We do teach in the beauty schools how to do the sugaring, and then they use this sugar paste and other products that comes with them in their spas or in their schools. So those products are mainly for the professionals. Beauty therapists, estheticians, cosmetologists are the ones that can use the sugaring line. Then the Tapira skincare line was formed 2 years after, and that is the skincare line that's available for anybody. We did that after hearing a lot of Zimbabwean women talking about they can't find anything that's really working for their skin, and some were getting to bleach their skin, not because they wanted to get lighter, but they just wanted to even out their skin tone. So the Tapira skincare line is really geared for the ethnic skin, acne skin, also the hyperpigmentation, those scars that are left after your acne heals. And that skincare line is absolutely amazing for that. Of course, we do have other products for that, dry skin, sensitive, and oily skin. So we believe in beautiful skin comes from within. So not only do we treat your skin from the outside, but we also help you with the diet, things that helps to prevent any future breakouts, because we want you to be proud of your skin and love your skin, whether you're wearing makeup or not wearing makeup. So you can just get up in the morning and feel like you are beautiful the way you are without adding any extra stuff on the top.
I will have my own question maybe at the last, but I'm sure part of our followers, we have got that one on the screen. Is my brother in business. He's in South Africa there. I'm sure he's having a question. My question: how do I start a business in USA? Is it difficult or is easy? I'm not so sure if that one you can answer it.
So he's saying, how do I start a business in the US?
Yes.
Is that the question? Okay.
Yes.
You have to come up with a business plan. What kind of business? You have a business is all about filling a need. So what are you trying to fill? Because you don't just start a business without knowing who are you servicing, who is your target market. So you have to find out who is your target market. You have to find out, is there a need in that market, or what is the need in that market? When you feel that need, now you're in business. So you have to sit down and come up with an idea or look at what is missing. You know, like how right now during the COVID-19, you've seen a lot of people making money with masks. If somebody is making a mask, it's a need right now. They're feeling a need. So when you can feel a need, you are in business. So you have to come sit down, not because so-and-so is doing that or so-and-so is doing that. And do you also love it? Because there are going to be challenges that are going to come with whatever need that you're trying to fill to be in the business. So you have to do something that you love to do. And I'm sure there are funds also out there, but I didn't start with funds at all. I didn't borrow money to start my companies. I pretty much one client at a time and serving what was coming in the business, and keeping it to grow and putting it back in the business to grow the businesses.
My
I
question,
hope
I'm
I
sure.
answered this question.
Yeah, and I'm sure he understood. I'm sure he's answered. If anything, maybe you will then send another question. I just wanted to check to verify with you.
Yes.
So does it mean that your business, your clients, you mostly or you only serve women? Do you also have males
Seven.
as part of your customers, or it's only for females, your products and your business?
Oh, no, we have everybody. And male, men, you guys are on top of the game now, taking care of yourselves. And, the one thing that we see mainly is razor bumps, when men are shaving. So one of our skincare product is really to work on the darkness that is left with the bumps when you shave. Sometimes it's caused by shaving the wrong way, of which you should always shave going with the grain of the hair, and also exfoliating to make sure that the hair is not trapped inside the skin. That all helps to make sure you won't have the bumps. So our products are used by men and women. This is just not for females. Everybody who has skin should be able to take care of their skin. So we even in the spa, we have customers that are male and also females.
Back home, I don't know exactly which part of Zimbabwe you come from, and somehow, because of technology, people are now able to access these some of these shows.
Yes.
It would be we will have robbed some of your people from your rural where you
Mm-hmm.
come from. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
before you go, before we can say goodbye and close the show,
Mm-hmm.
it will be good maybe for them to know that Miss Mabel Butler, she comes from this part of Zimbabwe, or since you started your company or since you relocated to America, have you managed to go back to Zimbabwe? So maybe I'll be having two questions here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which part exactly of Zimbabwe do you come from? And also, since you left Zim, did you manage to go back or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. I was born in Glenview, one, Harare, but I am from Mutoko, so Ndirisam Toko, all the way. My mom and my dad are from Mutoko, and I love mangoes. Mutoko is the place where you get mangoes. So yes, and as Sam Toko will say, if you're listening, Rabi Yangu, I'm one of you. Um, I go to Zimbabwe every year. I was actually supposed to go to Zimbabwe this March before COVID-19 happened, and they changed my ticket to May, but supposed to leave this Sunday. So that also is not happening. So I love my country. I'm a one proud Zimbabwean. There is no place like Zimbabwe. I've traveled a lot around the world, but Zimbabwe is still on the top list. So yes, I do go back to Zimbabwe. When I do go back, I give back. I go to the beauty schools and teach. I do skincare events with other women so that in any way I can give back what God has given me as a gift. So yes, there is no place like home.
That is awesome. I'm grateful and thankful having a person of your capacity on my show.
Thank
Somehow you
you.
have blessed me, and your parting words to the followers, the people who were following you, and those who are going to watch our
Abiyangu.
and all Zimbabweans scattered in the world, and the Toko, Abia Wenyu, anyone,
Abiyangu.
any parting words to them?
To Mabiyangu. Yes. What I would like to say is I am so grateful for the support that I've been getting and that I continue to get from my people. Even if I'm not there, I'm not living in Zimbabwe, the support is very overwhelming. I'm so grateful for that. And I just want to say Tapira Skin Clinic is coming to Zimbabwe. We have plans of opening very soon. So where you can get our services right on the ground. So stay tuned and keep watching. And for those who are thinking their dreams are not achievable, you can do whatever you set your mind and your heart and you give God to God. You can do anything. Anything is possible. Your dreams matter. It doesn't matter where you are, where you were born, where you grew up. Your dreams, they do matter. So get up, dust yourself up, write that vision down, and get on with the plan. You can do it.
It has been great having you on my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The capacity which you have, many of your shows, I watched them yesterday, today. We never knew that Zimbabwe is so blessed. We have got big people like yourself in the world, and all I can say to you today is may the good Lord bless you.
Thank you.
Your dream to also open the same business which you are having in America, to open it to Zimbabwe. May that dream come to fruition. Can it be successful? We also want to extend our gratitude of thanks to your family. Just extend my happiness to them for them allowing you to, leave everything which you were doing and come to this show. That alone speaks volumes of thanks. I'm grateful, and I wish you all the best. And next time we will bother you to come to the show. I'm sure by then your business will be in Zimbabwe.
Thank you. I would always make time and have time for you. Thank you so much for having me, and may God bless you. You are such a wonderful host. Thank you.
Welcome.